Imagine a king so depraved, so self-absorbed, that his legacy wasn't one of glory, conquest, or leadership, but of sexual obsession, betrayal, and the slow destruction of an empire. A monarch who turned his palace into a den of lust, manipulated by his own desires while his country crumbled. This isn't fiction. This is the chilling and darkly bizarre story of Ferdinand VII of Spain, a man many historians quietly whisper about as the most perverted king in history. And by the end of this story, you might agree, or be too disturbed to decide. He was born in 1784 to King Charles IV of Spain and Queen Maria Luisa of Parma. But even in childhood, Ferdinand VII displayed an unsettling personality. While most princes were trained in governance and war, Ferdinand was obsessed with control, secrecy, and manipulation. He was raised in the shadow of the Spanish Bourbon dynasty, a family cursed with inbreeding, decadence, and dysfunction. But Ferdinand was something else entirely, a storm disguised as a man. By the time he was in his 20s, Ferdinand was already plotting to dethrone his own father. He conspired with enemies within the court and even reached out to Napoleon Bonaparte to help him seize power. Think about that, begging a foreign invader to help overthrow your own family. If betrayal had a face, it would look like Ferdinand's cold, manipulative grin. In 1808, after a bizarre power struggle involving his father, Napoleon, and his own schemes, Ferdinand was crowned king, but not for long. Napoleon tricked him into abdicating, took him prisoner, and installed his own brother, Joseph Bonaparte, on the Spanish throne. And while Spain descended into the chaos of war and resistance, what was Ferdinand doing? Sitting comfortably in exile, pampered and indulged in France, behaving more like a spoiled noble than a captured king. He was obsessed with food, women, and power games. He collected erotic books, requested female entertainers, and was rumored to take immense interest in strange and degrading fantasies. It was as if being held captive wasn't a punishment, but a vacation. And when he finally returned to power in 1813, things only got worse. Spain was broken, war-torn, exhausted, but Ferdinand didn't care. Instead of healing the nation, he abolished the Constitution, imprisoned liberals, executed thinkers, and restored absolute monarchy. He didn't want a country, he wanted a playground. And that playground was filled with dark secrets. Ferdinand married 4 times. His wives were not just queens, they were victims. His first wife, Maria Antonia of Naples, died mysteriously, and rumors swirled about his abuse and violent tendencies. His second and third marriages were plagued by infertility, which Ferdinand blamed not on fate, but on witchcraft. He began seeing occultists performing bizarre sexual rituals and relying on aphrodisiacs that damaged his health. One French ambassador described him as utterly corrupt, physically repugnant, and mentally vacant. But Ferdinand didn't care about his image. He only cared about control, and especially sexual control. He allegedly kept detailed journals of his fantasies, most of which were too grotesque for even 19th century Europe to tolerate. His palace became notorious for its rotating circle of mistresses, some of them reportedly underage. Servants claimed he had a hidden chamber where he indulged his darkest desires, decorated with mirrors, silk, and portraits of naked women. The king, it seemed, believed he was untouchable. But his obsession with sex had consequences. By the time he married his 4th wife, Maria Cristina of the Two Sicilies, Ferdinand was impotent and desperate. Reports claim he forced doctors to administer painful and dangerous treatments to restore his function. Leeches, electric shocks, bleeding, even concoctions made from crushed insects, all for one purpose, to produce an heir. And finally he did, a daughter. But Ferdinand's obsession with his legacy, especially his obsession with controlling women, wouldn't let him rest. When he changed the law to allow his daughter Isabella to inherit the throne, it sparked a national crisis. The Carlist Wars broke out, dividing Spain into factions and igniting decades of bloodshed. Ferdinand had wanted control so badly, he'd burn the country to get it. Even in his final days, Ferdinand was paranoid. Obsessed with betrayal, he trusted no one, not even his own family. His health failed, his body swollen and broken by years of indulgence and illness. He died in 1833, but his ghost haunts Spanish history not as a noble monarch, but as a symbol of decay, cruelty, and unchecked desire. His daughter Isabella would become queen, but her reign too would be plagued by scandal, perhaps cursed by the sins of her father. Historians today still debate how much of the rumors surrounding Ferdinand VII are true, but the documents, the diaries, and the diplomatic accounts paint a disturbing picture, not of a ruler, but of a man consumed by perversion and power. A king who ruled not from his mind, but from his loins. And perhaps that is the ultimate warning, that when power is given to the unworthy, the throne becomes a prison, not just for the people, but for history itself. If this story disturbed you, intrigued you, or made you rethink what a king can truly become, don't forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more dark chapters from history. The past isn't just full of heroes and legends, it's full of monsters and crowns, and we're just getting started.